All right, what is going on, everyone, and welcome back to another Global Labs patch notes reading. So today is November 15th, and apparently this was updated a few hours ago, and I was going to read this morning, but I was a little bit busy. Apparently there's an update, so it's a good thing we waited. Anyway, with that said, Global Lab patch notes always come up on Fridays in the morning, usually, and usually it's about the next week is when it comes to the live server, so it's always a good idea to check it out in advance. And this is going to be my first time reading through it today. If you want to read it for yourself, I'll leave a link in the description, just official Global Lab notes. But it is Google translated from Korean to English, so I'll try to make it make sense. So, what do we have today? Additions and improvements for various characters. Mystics are getting changed. I think a lot of classes are actually getting buffed because with the official notes as of like the last week, which was a few days ago, on the live servers, a lot of classes are getting buffed, and so I think this is like wave 2 of it. And apparently Sage is really good. I was actually happy for that. That's one of the few classes I know how to play. So Mystic is one of them. I think that's always a good thing because a lot of people like Mystic. And I think, you know, if you were going to choose one between like Striker or Mystic, most people choose Striker just because it is better. So if it makes Mystics on par with Strikers, that's always good. And I always thought Mystic was cooler, actually, just because, like, you know, water dragons and everything. But anyway, admittedly, I haven't played it in a while. Musa, in addition to the PvE skill, Warrior Legend has added the option to restore health with the skill. Oh yeah, a lot of classes are getting like HP on skills that are updated, so I think that's always good, you know, especially with new grind spots being added or changed and everyone grinding the higher end areas. It's always a good thing. A lot of cooldown changes. I actually really liked Musa, but I don't know, I just fell off a little bit. Yeah, I always had fun with it, that and Meiwa. So, yeah, more looks like a lot of damage increases for everything. Yeah, Sage. Okay, so this is the only one I heard about that everyone is super excited for. So Succession Sage had a lower damage amplification value, so I think like a modifier, than the other characters. I don't know if that was really true, actually. Like, Sage has always been pretty solid compared to, like, a lot of other classes. I just thought Sage was, like, overall in a good spot since years ago. But apparently they thought it wasn't as good. I know Zethian is super happy about this one. And accordingly, even though the attack power has been increased compared to the other characters, the impact was relatively less noticeable. Really? I thought Sage was always in a good spot. Just, I don't know what about it. What did they test that they think it's bad? But anyway, let's see. All defense reduction effects has been changed from to minus 25 for 10 seconds. Okay. Magic defense reduction effect has been changed to minus 20 for all 10 seconds. Okay. Improved to smoothly connect. I assume that means like a flow with outdoors painting and after using the technique. Very cool. Added plus 30 critical hit. Critical hit on like anything makes it really good. All defense, increased grab resistance, increased effects while using the skill have been removed, and the damage taken while in super armor state has been reduced by 30%. Yeah, so I think this is actually a interesting change. I don't know if it was better or not, but like if you play Sage, you're generally in super armor if you know how to play it correctly for a majority of the time. So I think that's overall a good thing. So basically, minus the resistances, but increase the defense numbers. So overall, it just looks like damage numbers are up, and this is just the PvP damage reduction is just to match the damage. So effectively, it should feel the same, but you're doing more in PvE. Always good. Power throw, all attack power increased effects to change from 610 to 16 to 10, 16, 20 positive. All defense effects have been changed to -30 for 10 seconds. Very cool. Well, that's all the character changes for today. Sage being a good one. I think overall this is a good week. Sage, Musa, and Mystic are popular classes from as my understanding. All right, so content updates. Last week we delivered news about various lifestyle content changes such as Imperial delivery, fishing, bartering, and trading or training. And many adventurers showed great interest. I think last week's Global Lab patch, which is now on the live server, that was a huge change. I think it was a good one. Lifeskillers doing great. AFK fishers in the ocean making billions now. That's pretty cool. Like overnight, just plus 1 billion. That's cool. And not only has the number of people enjoying the content increased significantly, but there's some people who've been preparing materials in site. So yeah, in case you didn't know about last week or you just haven't been playing, a lot of life skills have been buffed. Imperial delivery, you can basically do double now, effectively cooking and alchemy. Fishing has been changed. They added like really expensive fish. So some of my guildies, I've seen screenshots of like 12-hour AFK fishing and they made like 1 billion silver. So that's pretty good. And then a lot of other cool stuff that they added as well. So yeah, that was a good patch last week. Stuffed furniture for house fixing or like house decorating and guild manners have always been a interesting thing. I wish I was more into it, but I wish the manners were like more room to put stuff in, not just like one big room, but multiple smaller rooms, if that makes sense. But yeah, I also wish that guild or manners were, not contribution point locked, but or to, I guess, daily rent. I guess I wish you could just pay one flat fee. It doesn't matter if it's high amount. I just wish I didn't have to think about it over and over again. But yeah, so very good. They added life skill changes last week. Apparently everyone's happy about that, and it's good. Cultivation. That sounds like farming, but let's read it. There are adventurers who use cultivation in conjunction with other life skills such as cooking, adventurers who sell crops, seeds, and all the other stuff. First of all, the restriction on the artisan life level has been removed so that even beginner adventurers can obtain magic seeds. In addition, the probability of obtaining higher level seeds has been increased by 6 times the effect. I don't think that's really the issue. In my opinion, the only reason to go past like artisan is if you want the smaller fences for farming. And so it's like, how there's the big fences, right? And then the old moon ones, which are essentially the same thing, but smaller. And that's about it. Like farming needs a rework in terms of, I guess profit and everything else. But like, there's no reason to really feel like you have to push past Master 1 at all, or even Artisan, to be honest. Lastly, when getting seeds has been 2 to 3 seeds has been increased. Always good. So plant breeding, magical seeds. Yeah, basically you're getting more now. That's always good. The blessing of Agris, the god's abundance, has been taken over the land of Black Desert, and various crops have been cultivated. Blah, blah, blah. Chance to get double seeds, advanced special offer imbued with magic. Chance to get 3. So like, the special seeds and then the magical ones with the mysterious combination. You get more now. Overall, I really don't think that, like, even after all these changes, farming will still not be as good as like gathering or even AFK fishing. Nowadays, if you do fishing, you get a lot. It's kind of good, actually. But either way, this is always a interesting change. You do make a lot of silver if you know how to turn like the materials into it, but it's just not like a lot of AFK money, or even if you're like active pruning all 10 by 10s, still feels a little bit weird. So who knows? Maybe it's more than before, but not a lot. Hunting. The direction of improvement for hunting has been set to increase profits, which is always good. Compared to sniper hunting, I'm gonna be honest, I've never done sniper hunting ever since they released it. I remember reading the patch notes on that. I'm like, oh, that's cool, and I just like, it's so out of the way to the point where if I'm gonna go out of the way, I'm just gonna go grind an hour, to be honest, and then make more silver. So basically what they're saying is right now Narcion is probably the best place to be from beginner 1 all the way to like Guru 50, and you hunt for the materials, turn it into the like wolf heads or whatever, and then put it in your house for the buffs or sell it. They want people to actually make more money and doing all that as well. So I think overall, I think hunting was always in a decent spot. It wasn't like competitive with grinding, but I always thought hunting made a decent amount of silver an hour. And it's one of those things where you could basically do it for a long amount of time, because even if you are at like Guru, the time it takes you to run out of energy to gather and everything, you basically don't. So I think that it was always pretty good. So yeah, I have videos if you want to watch it from how to get from like beginner 1 all the way to Guru. It's on the channel. It's a little bit old now, but I mean, effectively they haven't really changed hunting in a while, so it's essentially the same thing. But now next week we make some more money. Let's see, what are these? When hunting, the acquisition of items, the Narcion's breath and the stuffed animal has been increased, doubled, and yeah. I'm actually good. These Breath of Narcion things, they're used to basically make the Masters matchlock and everything. And they're like, what, 20 mil each? So if you have a lot of them now, you might want to sell them. And because I have a feeling that they're going to go down once the patch hits. But yeah, so if you're selling them now for like 25 mil each, you should do that. Then they should probably be cheaper in about like 2 weeks or something. All right. Very cool. And they added another, or not another one, but like they added a new type. Party bosses, Black Temple. The exit message that appears when pressing the escape key has been improved so it does not work with the enter key. Very cool. When obtaining the Qadir fragment item, the character no longer performs a cheer. What item is this? I don't even know what item this is, but cool. The less things your character cheers for when you're grinding, that's plus 1 second and slightly better. Will it affect anyone's day-to-day? No, but it is nicer. Fix an issue where Tungrad leaders can be hit from a distance and have their health reduced. Ooh, literally last week they buffed Tungrad Ruins, and then now they're nuking the mechanic that made the OP classes be able to grind really high trash loot compared to other. So do I think this should have been a thing? I guess if you're trying to be like technical and have all classes balanced, yes. But I mean, like if your class is better, I don't think that every class should grind equally. I think, let me rephrase that, like all classes should be within like a 10% of each other at any given spot. Like, so let's say Tungrad, some classes could do 10% more than, you know, Dark Knight, but like Dark Knight can be 10% better at somewhere else. I don't know. I thought that was an interesting mechanic. Like if your class could snipe the next visionary from another pack, you are obviously doing better. But I see why they're changing it to like not being able to do that intentionally. So I don't know. This really affects the higher-end classes like Draconia that can fly, Lawns, maybe Sages, Dark Knights to an extent, but basically any class that can go from like point A to B and snipe a visionary in less than 2 seconds. Yeah, there's no longer, you can't do that anymore with the change. So if that's how it works, all the top end classes aren't going to be able to pull as much trash. Do I think it's a big deal? No. Overall, no. It's just a little bit less trash for the top end players, but if you're just like an average grinder who couldn't even snipe it, literally nothing changes for you. All right, requests and knowledge. Starting conditions for the main quest in Ulukita has been changed. Complete the main quest in Valencia. After the change, complete the main quest in Madaya. So I think this is a good thing because Valencia is a very tedious quest, and especially for new players who don't have a tier 9 unicorn horse, and traveling through the desert is actually pretty tedious. So even over the years, when they make it so you go up into Madaya, like even if you're on a seasoned character, to complete most things, you only have to do Madaya. So yeah, I think that's overall a good thing. Valencia is tedious traveling in the desert, and I can see that for new players who don't have a unicorn or, yeah, it's kind of annoying, but it is what it is. You probably should do Valencia eventually. Just if you're going for the quest completions and all that stuff, you should do it eventually, but is it a big deal? No. When you complete all the main quests in Calpheon and start the main quest, Witch's Tale, the convenience of movement has been improved. That probably means some like auto paths, so, or some like various obstacles in the way have been cleared out. Very cool. Node Wars and Sieges. Node Wars are valuable content that adventurers have accumulated experience and teamworks over a long period of time. Now the Lord who wins the unlimited occupation territory can now choose how the Node Wars proceed. So we talked about this a few weeks ago in the previous patch notes, and basically the way they want to revamp Node Wars is like, or I guess Sieges, is the castle owners basically set how the mechanics of the next war go. Whether that's like offensive or defense, I think we shall only see. It seems like a good idea, but overall, it's really just a band-aid fix on PvP. It might be fun for, the first couple of months, but then after, at least here on NA, we have the same, like, 4 castle owners and same 4 top guilds. So it's like, oh, you want a certain type of PvP? It's going to be on this region. And then that's about it. It's not a good, like, it's going to be a fun thing for now, but it's not like, it's just a temporary fix. So, yeah, I think that's cool. But the way I'm going to see it is, like, every region is going to have some different type of, like, PvP style, and then everyone is going to flood to that region for that week, and probably for the same thing for nodes as well. But we'll see. I think it's going to be fun for a little bit, but it's not like a permanent fix. Anyway, let's see. Need to build a stronghold fortress. Okay, so this is what we currently have, right? Need to build a stronghold annex to participate by building a castle. From 1 hour, so this is what we have now. From 1 hour after the previous day's base ends to 1 hour before the start. From 1 hour previous day base to the 1 hour before the start. I see. Varies by group territory, designated base area. Victory. If you are or were in a temporary occupation state when the castle's end time arrives, you win by occupying. Destroy all other guilds' fortresses. Interesting. That's kind of like how you won before, but I guess it's gonna be different now. So what we have now is 10 minutes before you start, you can purchase and install cannons without moving to the city and all that stuff. Immediately after starting, you must build cannon observation posts to the Allied fortress. This is basically, you could do things before, now you have to do it during the war, which, whatever. Rewards are based on, okay, the rewards are the same. Specifies the method of conducting the unlimited occupation warlord's stronghold war. When occupying a territory that does not have the ability restrictions to an occupying battle, you can specify the base battle for the week. So yeah, winning or guild owners for the week can pick out what kind of rules they want. I think it'll be interesting for a few weeks. Even when the war starts, the battle time and the method proceeding can be specified by approximately 2 weeks after the end of the original thing. So however long it takes. New locations for fort drops in every like node area. Cool. And then this tells you basically how guild participations work, and let's see, the stages. Oh, this one is like every node's on what day. And like the gear score requirement. So Valencia always has had no limit. Medaya has no limit now? Oh, it's okay, cool. I guess that's a good thing because like over the years, like people get more gear, and so they're gonna have to raise it inevitably, and I think that's overall a good thing. So interesting. If you want to check that out, pause the screen. Very cool, but we'll see. The durability of the following auxiliary buildings has been increased by 30% compared to before. Flame, Reinforced Flame, New Miracle, Great New Testament. What are these? That has to be a translation thing, because unless this means like tent or like elephant tent and something else and like ogre or something. But either way, those are like the horse stable or elephant thingy. We'll see. UI, when using the guild promotion function has been improved so that it can be used in the world chat as well as server group. You can use guild promotion through guild tab. You will need a shout ticket item to use world chat. Okay. Party and guild invitation rejection has been separated. Okay, cool. Pet's unique skill, reduced disadvantage on death, has been changed to 5 different colors. Wait, hold up. Do I have a pet that... Death penalty minus 4% on a tier 4. I guess now it just has different colors. Okay. So yeah, it's basically this one. I had a tier 4 pet with that one. Honestly, I don't think it's a really good skill. Like, it seems like it's good, but there are actual stat things you could have as well, which I think are better. But now that it has different colors, that's cool. Added a button to toggle inventory once stable and dock. This is a very good thing, especially for newer sailors out there, just because it's quality of life that makes things a lot easier. We've been working on improving, optimizing the vitality bar UI. Okay, let's look at that again. So there's one thing I actually changed. I started using the new one again, simply because it felt weird when I did this. So this is how you do it, by the way, in case you weren't always curious. This is the OG bar. So like if you've been playing the game for years, yours looks like this. I'm used to this one more often. I think it looks cooler just because you could see the bar over here. Like when most people are playing, you look at the center of your screen. Chances are you look right here. And then it's easier to look at your health bar down here instead of up here. So that's why I'm just used to the OG one. But ever since they changed this one, so over here, what it used to be was the skill points. And like that's kind of irrelevant. But I do like the change that you could see your gear, like your AP and DP, just over here now. But it looks weird without the third bar. So what I did was I'm trying to get used to the newer one, and it looks a little bit cleaner. Overall, I think that I like both of them. I'm used to the other one more just because it's like I look at the center of my screen more often and down, like where all my skills are, than I do looking at the top over here. But anyway, with that said, like I'm just kind of getting used to this new one now. I kind of wish you can pause this little particle effect thing. Like people might say this will like, oh, it'll affect your FPS because there's like more moving stuff. No, it doesn't matter. I just wish it was a solid red bar so I could see it. Anyway, but the biggest thing was I looked down here and said, also, if you're wondering why I'm there, I was doing an hour at Trolls just to test it, and very cool. Okay, so fixes and changes. Lawn changes, Kuno, Dosa, Sork, Ninja, Valkyrie. All the classes that I don't play. The issue where the names of 3 monsters were displayed differently has been fixed. Which 3? So we can actually know. Controller issues. Hovering over the banner news window has been fixed. This is one annoying thing. You know how like when you log in every day, it gives you that like pop-up thing. Is like, here, don't show this for a day. Dude, I wish that would just not show up. They saw Throne and Liberty, and they're like, all right, let's give this game more pop-ups. Oh, God. Fix the issue where the Ardenaut could not be equipped with a special horse outfit when left in the stable has been fixed. What? I have a tier 9 Ardenaut, and I literally have it in one of my old costumes. Okay, well. Fix an issue where the minimap would occasionally flicker. Haven't noticed that one. Improvements have been made so that adventurers who are currently applying the value pack effect and more clearly recognize the effect has expired using the integrated exchange in the Black Desert application. To this day, I have never used the Black Desert mobile app. Like, there is nothing that I really like. I think, like, I understand that using the central market on your phone is cool. I think that's a cool idea, but there is no item where I'm going to be like logging in at like 3 in the morning just to try to snipe an item. Maybe back in the day before the central market where you actually have to put up 15-minute pre-orders, you might, but nowadays it's like everything you can get like at any given time. So it's a cool idea. Don't think anyone's actually using it though. And a lot more stuff that have been changed. Very specific things that most people will not have. And an issue where 100 packing was not possible when crafting cooking or medicine boxes using the specific materials is fixed. I actually did Imperial Delivery earlier. I forgot that was a thing. I've been doing like the 10 boxing at a time. I need to figure out how to do the 100 one. Title. The color of the light inspection item has been changed to be the same color as when the title was actually applied. Oh. Alright, well, that has been it. So we got node ward changes today that we talked about, various class changes. Some more life skills, hunting and farming has been changed today. Various classes. I think the classes that they buffed today was a good idea. So Mystic, Musa, and Sage, all three of those are in a very good spot and got cool stuff. So with that said, that's about it for today's patch notes. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.